Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com presents The Rope Break, little sub-show we're doing here. I am the sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. It's right, boom, boom, here's Shaker the Room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And, of course, joining me there live in the Dirty South, the returning Sammy Synister. What's up, buddy?
In fact, for those of you that weren't aware, I am alive. I'm, in fact, still a real person. I am not a figment of Boom's imagination that he solidified through astral projections into being something semi-solid. Oh, I'm real. I'm a very, very real person. I recently moved. For those that you know, when he says from the dirty south, I'm from farther dirtier south now. And I've been extraordinarily busy, so I apologize that I haven't been here.
Nice. Well, it's good to have you back, man. I know you've been working harder than a Pensacola stripper, so
I can give them girls lessons right now.
Hopefully it's paying off. I know every time I feel like I say that, I feel like somebody's going to get like offended. They're going to be like, excuse me, sir, I'll have you know that my daughter's a stripper in Atlanta, and those girls don't play.
I guess the question is, who works harder, an Omaha stripper or a Pensacola stripper? I think I'm going Pensacola.
That's a Navy town. You're going to have to earn that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but it's so good to hear you again, man. And, you know, we're going to do what we do best. We're going to talk some pro wrestling, which is something I look forward to doing each and every week here. I'm really not going to go like, you know, what I, you know, think, oh, breaking news, this is the top story. No, I think one of the ones that really piqued my interest in the past couple of days is rumors come out that WWE has reached an agreement with Anthem, and they bought or about to buy the Broken gimmick from Impact Wrestling, so they'll be able to use the Broken Hardys coming up on WWE television.
This is extremely smart. I think this is brilliant on WWE's behalf. And honestly, this is a very good chance that this is something good for TNA. And well, now mind you, because I've been working so much, I have not had time to watch TNA, but I am willing to bet that they paid them a ludicrous amount of money for this.
Yeah, right now there's no dollar amount that's been said here, but in one way, I'm kind of glad because, you know, it's finally going to get this damn thing over with. The Hardys can finally do the thing that got them their jobs back with WWE. I'm interested in seeing where they go with it, how they portray the Broken Hardys on the big stage. But also, on the other hand, I'm actually kind of bummed out because I feel like the bad guys won. And what do I mean by that? I felt like Anthem and Impact Wrestling, they're a bunch of thieves. They didn't come up with a gimmick. In fact, you know, assuming that Reby Hardy is not lying, and I have no reason to believe that she is, you know, the Hardys, you know, their son Maxwell, you know, Senior Benjamin, they worked, you know, without pay. You know, they were never under contract. But the Hardys shot everything. I think they even edited all that stuff together. They came up with all the material. They ran with it. And then Anthem's going to go, oh, yeah, we totally own that. You know, we're just going to hold the copyrights to it. I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. You don't own a goddamn thing. Fuck you. I would have taken that, you know, I would have loved to take their ass to court and fucking have the judge go, no, this is Matt Hardy shit. You don't know. He don't owe you fuck. And then have them walk around with dick. But yeah, I know, but I know
he jumped on with WWE.
Yeah, but I know a legal battle would take time and money, and by the time they got all this sorted out, I mean, nobody would have cared about the Broken gimmick anymore because I mean, it would just, you know, but it would have completely jumped the shark by then. You know, it would have burnt out.
Yeah,
and I know timing's everything, but it's just a part of me. I just hate seeing the bad guys win on this one. I really felt like Impact was a bunch of thieves.
I mean, yeah, they were kind of the dick in this situation, but I mean, like I said, I think the Hardys. One of the reasons the Hardys went to WWE is for, you know, legal security, because, you know, if you're going to court with Matt Hardy, you know, that's just Matt Hardy, is, you know, with that and what it doesn't weigh. But if you're going with WWE, you have to deal with Stamford, Connecticut then. And I bet you that's one thing. And so if they were like, oh, yeah, go ahead and try and sue us, or you can take this money and we can never talk about this again. And Anthem was more than likely, I guarantee you they did not want to go to court. Because then they're going to
no, because they just wanted money. That's all they wanted. And they got it. And that's what kind of pisses me off is, you know, they didn't have a right to it, but they held it. And they did it, just to hold the Hardys hostage for a few weeks, and now they're getting a payoff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all's well as end well. We'll just have to see.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Another element going around here is there's rumors swirling right now that Cody Rhodes has signed or is about to sign full-time with Ring of Honor. Now, his deal would be something similar to what the Young Bucks have. It would not affect any dates with like New Japan. It wouldn't affect anything with like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, but however, he would not get to work for Impact.
Yeah.
Which really, it would limit to what he could do within the United States.
What about What Culture? Could he still do What Culture?
That's not in the United States. He's good to go.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea. And I'm going to divert off of this to go on something that I'm talking about. What is currently more unwatchable, TNA or Ring of Honor television?
Ooh.
It's Ring of Honor television. Ring of Honor television is unbearable to watch. People are like, it's got great wrestling. Yeah. But there's fucking no reason to watch it. I've given up on Ring of Honor completely. And that's blasphemy to a lot of people that do a lot of indie wrestling. I've completely given up. All I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to support them, but I'm going to buy the DVDs of the wrestlers I want to see. I'm not going to buy iPay-per-views. I'm not going to watch their TV because it's just not good right now. Like, I bought the Dalton Castle DVD. I'm waiting for it to come in. But Ring of Honor for television is terrible. It's terrible. So in that regard, I think this is an awful idea for Cody Rhodes. I think TNA television is a lot better. I haven't been watching in a while, so I don't know how like this new generation thing's going out. But I mean, and I love that he's the leader of the Bullet Club, and maybe you could tell a good story of him becoming the new leader of like the American Bullet Club over Adam Cole, but Ring of Honor television is bad.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's like bad. Like I like watching the pay-per-views, but I don't think there's any reason to watch the regular TV show because it's just so far behind.
It's so far behind. It's like watching Access's New Japan stuff, which honestly I think is even more watchable. Because I think the wrestling is just better. Truth be told, there's still that American indie mentality in Ring of Honor that pack as much as you can into one match to where people can't breathe. If you do 6 fucking 360 flying elbows in a match, people won't remember that you did 6. They'll remember like, that was an okay match. And that's my biggest problem with a lot of indie wrestling, especially Ring of Honor. And indie wrestling in general is starting to get away from that to a small degree. Like look at British professional wrestling right now, which is really in its golden age. They're not doing that. They're telling great stories in the ring. Japan is telling great stories. There are people out there that have realized that you can't just do that in indie wrestling anymore to get over. It's fucking Wrestle Pro's doing great stuff. I've got to watch some of this. Evolve doing that. Ring of Honor hasn't caught on yet. They're still doing that classic 2000s to mid 2000s indie mentality of cram as much as you can into one match. And I think a lot of the problem is Delirious.
Yeah, I think maybe Delirious is burnt out or something because I just think somebody else needs to take the book for right now. They need to.
He's so fucking lazy. And I don't mean like the guy's not working. I mean, he's lazy in that he's like, yeah, this person's going to get a title shot. And after that, let's give it to that person. Like, there's no story between the two. Like, one of my favorite wrestlers in the world is Dalton Castle right now. And he had a decent feud with Colt Cabana. But I don't know. It's Ring of Honor television and Ring of Honor in general. I'll be so bold. Ring of Honor right now is not good.
Yeah, but I think it is. I think it's savable. But here's the.
It's completely savable.
Yeah, here's a crazy thing, and I'm going to bring everything full circle here.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's looking like I think Ring of Honor has completely mishandled a lot of talent.
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost criminal how they've mishandled talent.
And people get on the WWE for it. I think Ring of Honor is just as bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's a little tidbit that I picked up. It looks like WWE could or is interested in. They're interested in Kyle O'Reilly, Donovan Dijak, Leo Rush, and Bobby Fish.
Donovan Dijak can leave that list, and I wouldn't give a shit. I find him completely vanilla. I'm not a fan. That being said, I know you're a big Kyle O'Reilly fan. I do like Kyle O'Reilly. I just think he has a terrible character. But as far as in-ring talent goes, he is fucking awesome. I think his match with Adam Cole at Wrestle Kingdom is completely underrated.
It's funny you should mention Adam Cole, because Adam Cole, his contract with Ring of Honor expires this weekend, and he said he has no problems going to WWE, and especially starting out in NXT.
That'd be a great place for him, honestly.
Come to think about it, you just said that, Donovan Dijak is vanilla, and Kyle O'Reilly, he's got a bad character. Well,
yeah.
Would you be like, if you go to NXT, I mean, that's what they do, is they typically kind of tweak the characters and move things around. I mean, would you be open to that?
I mean, if they can work with them and those guys can show the talent, I think Adam Cole has a better case in that regard than Kyle O'Reilly. And this is something else I want to talk about, because this is one of the biggest problems I have right now, going off people that are jumping to Ring of Honor NXT and not making a splash at all. Fucking, what's his name? Sick Kick. Why did I fucking forget his name? Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong has been there, 5 months now?
Mm-hmm.
And he's done nothing.
But
I saw today, or last night, where he had like his own little video package.
Did you see that?
And so, which was cool. And I thought they did a good job of making it seem like, okay, he's waiting to make his splash. But at the same time, it kind of came across as, oh shit, we picked up this guy and spent a lot of money on him, and we need to make him into a star, and he's not hitting. Let's try and make him into a star real quick. And I think the world of Roderick Strong, all those guys, everyone we just said, Leo Rush, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, all those guys, as far as pure in-ring talent goes, are absolutely amazing. There is not a character to be seen anywhere amongst them. The most out of them is Adam Cole, who's got some personality. He's got a lot of personality. He doesn't have a great character. And I've had a lot of people get mad at me. I said the same thing about Jay Lethal. I think Jay Lethal's a great talent. They're bad heels. They're not good at being heels at all. But I see more potential in Adam Cole in that regard than anybody else. And if Ring of Honor loses those 5 guys or those 4 guys,
they've already lost them. They've already lost all of them, because O'Reilly's no longer with them. Dijak and Leo Rush at the door, because look how they were being booked. Leo Rush went from
did nothing.
He won the new prospect tournament.
And then nothing.
They put him in a match with Jay Lethal, which I think he did phenomenal in, and then they did absolutely nothing with him. Yes, and then he goes over to Evolve, and people are raving about his matches. Same thing with Dijak. Dijak, they've got him in a great position. They never even remotely pulled the trigger with him, and now he goes over to Evolve. Oh my God, everybody's raving about him. Bobby Fish, he was working on per appearance deal, and now he's gone.
I've never been terribly impressed with Bobby Fish. He's good in the ring.
I just want to see Red Dragon back together.
That would be cool. But only if they can keep that super fucking typo negative sounding music, or that Danzig sounding music.
Oh, yeah, Dan Valentine's. Yeah, I love it. Dance the Night, Dance Away. I love that song.
It's a good one. It's a good song.
So it grew on me quick. I was like, dude, this is the most annoying fucking shit I've ever heard. And I'm like, I'll give you a rings on to dance away.
I loved it. Man, it's me and Dave got into a big thing about it. It's like, oh, music doesn't make a big deal to me. I'm like, no, to me, good intro music can make a world of difference. Because I think Samoa Joe has the best entrance music in the world right now. He was actually on Chris Jericho's podcast recently talking about where it came from. Apparently, Samoa Joe is a massive Godzilla fan, and so he kind of stole that song, that theme, that idea for his theme from Godzilla. That brr, brr, brr. you can kind of hear reflections of it in his music. And that's because I've always thought his music sounded like someone's about to get their ass kicked.
If I just needed another reason to like Samoa Joe, I just got it. He likes Godzilla movies.
Yeah, exactly, dude. God, fucking clap for Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is the fucking tits. I do love. So I want to say this real quick because I know we're jumping around a lot, but that's what we fucking do. We're talking professional wrestling around the world. I made this statement right after WrestleMania, and y'all have not talked to me about WrestleMania, so fucking there's a lot to talk about. Brock Lesnar is to professional wrestling what Amy Schumer is to comedy.
Oh, there's no need for name calling now.
I was really proud of myself because the best thing they've done in the last 2 years involved John Cena.
Oh.
And at best, they are okay. They're both got huge heads and are blonde. I love it. Anyway, so back on the subject. It's God, if NXT picks those people up, and I can imagine one or two of them will probably go to TNA. I would say probably Lio Rush and Donovan Dijak can go to TNA. I think Lio Rush could have a great X Division career there, and Donovan Dijak can do something. I don't know. He can go feud with Moose or some shit. But if NXT picks those people up, how fucking loaded is NXT's roster at that point in time? I would be venture to say it's almost too loaded because you can only have so many people that are the guy.
At this point, I would welcome an overloaded roster with NXT because you're going to have to reload. And a lot of those guys, I mean, you got to get the next crop ready to move up. You got to get the next group established. I mean, it's like a factory. I mean, you're in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, think about how long was Austin Aries there?
Not long. Honestly, the best thing for Austin Aries was getting injured.
Yeah,
that was the best thing that could happen.
They put him on the commentary for 205 Live.
Yeah, and people like, oh, I kind of like this guy. Okay, let's go through NXT. You've got Chris Hero. You have got Roderick Strong. You have got Drew McIntyre, who is so much better than I ever thought he was.
By the way, Sammy, you need to put on your headphones. I could hear an echo in the background.
Okay, I'll turn it down a little bit. I don't have my headphones with me, which is the problem.
Oh, okay. Drew McIntyre and Roderick Strong need to get together because one of these guys is going to have to reserve that finishing move because the Claymore and the sick kick are the exact same damn thing.
They are. You are not incorrect in that regard. Maybe they make somebody else pick a different finisher. Or I think out of the two, they're more than likely going to tell Drew to pick a different finisher because he has the power to pull off something different. But he's been impressive in just his few matches there. I really like what NXT is doing with Andrade Cien. I love this new character Playboy direction. I'm digging it. I've been really impressed with Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross. I thought their feud felt really organic.
And I got to ask you, Sammy, when you watch those girls roll around on the mat, how long did it take you to stop masturbating?
Who said I stopped?
Oh, okay.
You don't know if I'm wearing pants right now or not. It's God. Who else do we got on that roster right now?
All right, I'm just going to go. They've got a pretty good roster. I mean, they're rebuilding right now. I mean, Aleister Black. Who was Tommy End, correct? Yes.
That's another awesome entrance. I'm not the biggest fan of the character thus far. I don't think he's fully seen it out. We haven't seen that like Dark Prince Avenger that he's looking for. And I think the sitting on the mat thing's stupid. But I
do like when he sits up in his intro where he
dude, that shit is so cool.
That is awesome.
Like I've been on a big classic Universal horror movie kick the last couple months. I have bought 250 movies to rebuild my collection.
Nice.
And so I've been powering through old Bela Lugosi movies, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, fuck yes, that was cool as fuck. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Got Aleister Black. Who else do you got? They've picked up a couple other people.
Let's see. There's
Bobby Roode.
There's a lot of things. Okay, let me just run down here. You got the Authors of Pain,
who are probably my favorite tag team right now.
Okay, Aleister Black. Then you got Sanity,
who I like.
Andrade Cien, who they've given me mixed signals on this guy.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like they bring him in. He's kind of like a jobber. He's no big deal. They turn him to a heel. Picks up a little steam, but he can't. And he finally went. I think he won just enough to where you don't completely dismiss him, and then you feel like, okay, he got a big win. He's going to turn things around, and then he goes back to losing again. It's like, call him up, do something with him.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode, Drew McIntyre. Let's see, I already mentioned Sanity. Hideo Itami, thank God he's back.
Well, let's see how long he can stay healthy this time.
Well, no, that was not his fault. Like,
Neither one of them, but he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah, I know, he's got to. Like, you know, he got that shoulder injury, got surgery, that didn't work, so he had to get a second surgery. Then he goes in where the fucking rookies hurt him at a house show, so then he was out even longer, and he's just now coming back. I would be like, okay, only put him in there with established people. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, Cassius Ohno. I'm looking, No Way Jose. They're pushing Heavy Machinery.
Okay, so on the subject of Heavy Machinery, I have to bring this up. As most of you know, me and my two buddies, my wrestling guys, we get really bored. We make up our own wrestling gimmicks, and then we just cut promos on each other. So our current reigning today, our gimmick is that we're the Hill People, which is both singular and plural. You can be a Hill People. And we just a bunch of good old boys from Paint Lick, Kentucky, man. We just like drinking beer, riding 4-liters, wrestling, and hitting on women. A real roll-tide Bud Light NASCAR, turn to the left. So we also decided that group is a member of Bullet Club, but they didn't ask to join Bullet Club. They just kind of decided they were in Bullet Club because we all got drunk one night, and I just turned to the other guys like, hey, man, we done that there drum Bullet Club because we like shooting guns, we like ammo, and we can't go back to the gun club because of what Dave did last week. And somebody in the back was like, I DDT'd a Rancor. So that's our current gimmick. But that being said, with the huge hype going around right now of Southpaw Regional Wrestling, which if you haven't watched yet, stop watching us, go watch it right now. It is one of the best things WWE's done in so long. So we made a classic gimmick for ourselves. And the classic gimmick for me and my buddy Coker is that we are FGIS, which stands for Fat Guys in Singlets, which was inspired by Heavy Machinery. So yeah, that's they're from Pittsburgh. So they are the reigning champs of whatever promotion they're in. I think we made up like Southern Pride Wrestling or something like that. But yeah, Fat Guys in Singlets.
I love that now. That's why I missed you so much, Sammy.
This is why I don't need time to myself.
I know. Let's see, Roderick Strong.
Has anybody dropped the ball harder than NXT with Roderick Strong? Or is it the problem is we got front loaded with ROH and the talent that came to WWE, that those people are hellaciously talented. Not to say the guys aren't, but like your Sami Zayn's, your Kevin Owens, your Tyler Black.
He just came in the summer, so he's just now getting his legs up under him.
Who?
Roderick Strong. I mean, it looks like
that's almost a year.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. This video package shows that at least they've got some confidence in it. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Roderick Strong. Him and his girlfriend had a baby boy this past week.
Oh, congratulations.
So, and I mean, they don't make video packages like this, and that was just part one. I can't wait to see what part two is.
Yeah.
You don't do stuff like that if you're just going to, oh, okay, he's just another guy who's going to go out there.
Well, I would agree with you. Not so fast, my fellow friend. I would agree with you with one exception, and that's Apollo Crews. We had like 3 weeks of Apollo Crew vignettes for them to do absolutely nothing.
They called him up way too early, though.
Way too early. And like, here's the point that I want to try and make. That first crop that NXT raided from ROH. So your Kevin Steens, El Genericos, Tyler Blacks, all those guys. Those guys, are three of arguably the biggest superstars in WWE right now. But they have great characters and they work really well. They were able to modify themselves and click. Is it that the guys that they are getting right now, so your Roderick Strongs, your Kyle O'Reillys, are those guys does it begin and end with they're great in-ring workers? Because you cannot survive. I don't even want to say in WWE, you can't survive in any of the major promotions if you don't have a good character. Even New Japan has great characters. They just tell their character stories in a much different way.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say? Would you say that that's the case, or would you say these guys haven't had time, or that they don't have the talent, or they do have the talent and could get there?
I think time, because timing is everything. Because you got to give everything to flesh out. See, one of the critiques that our buddy LK had with NXT is that is he would say, let me see if I can do my best LK impression. Those Full Sail fuckers. Worst LK impression ever. I apologize. He would basically say that they would cheer for anything. Well, I think it's different because we know that NXT is developmental, so it's hit and miss. They try new things, and we get to see things develop. I mean, why do you think we cheered somebody like Ty Dillinger so hard?
Yeah,
because we watched everything develop. I watched him.
Great cage match.
I watched him. Him and Jason Jordan were a tag team. They were jobbers. They didn't do anything. They split up. And I watched him start with that, and then he tried the Perfect 10, and then it just kind of took on a life of its own, and then I've seen it develop into what it is now.
Yeah.
So and I think when you're not watching on the main, and when you're up there on the main roster, you're not watching this, so you don't get the payoff. You didn't get to see the developmental. You just see, well, why does this guy like to count to 10 so much?
Yeah, fair.
Mm-hmm. Got to mention Oni Lorcan.
I am so confused about.
I feel so bad for this guy.
Why?
Because the guy is talented.
He's good in the ring.
He's really good, but yet they've only used him to job, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I am not sold on this guy yet. I think he's good in the ring, but in any of the major promotions, New Japan, WWE, NXT, Lucha Underground, TNA, none of those places you can't get over on pure work rate alone. There have been people that do that, but it is few and far between. You have to be able to make your character a presence, and you don't have to be able to cut a great promo to have a great character. You can be like Okada, who has a fantastic character, but he tells it all in the ring. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's the problem with a lot of these guys. Maybe that's your problem with your Oni Lorcans, Kyle O'Reillys, and such.
And let's look at the women's side here. I think Aaliyah. I think she's got a good upside. Asuka, obviously. Really, oh my God, it's like I kind of want to see her move up, but I hope to God she goes to SmackDown, because if she goes, because I do want to see her on Raw, but I feel like she might, that's where the most competition is. But if you want to see her continue to dominate, she needs to go to SmackDown.
I don't disagree, but I'm honestly not thinking that's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know why. You can't tell me she's not ready.
Well, yeah, and I think what NXT needs to start doing, and this is something like they said they wanted to do a while back, but they just haven't really fulfilled yet. I think there are people that can make an entire career out of working in NXT, and nobody would think less of it. If Bobby Roode never made it to the main roster and he was glorious gimmick in NXT forever, if Asuka was the Empress of Tomorrow forever in NXT, I don't think anybody's going to say that is a wasted career. They went, oh yeah, that guy was the greatest NXT champion of all time, or that lady was the greatest NXT champion of all time. I think they need to keep people in NXT. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm just, Let's see, Billie Kay, Ember Moon.
Ember Moon had the weirdest, most uncomfortable vignette when she was like after she lost.
Oh, I know. It was like, dude, it was like she was whining about it.
Yeah, it was so uncomfortable.
You know what they should have done? There's only one thing they could have done, and they could have saved the whole thing. You could have had her say, basically say that, you know what? I fell down this time, but I'm going to climb that ladder. I'm going to climb that ladder again. Yeah. I started from the bottom, worked my way up there. I got knocked down. While I learned, I'm going to, I saw some things I need to work on, and I'm going to, damn it, she beat me, but she didn't beat me for good. I'm going to climb that ladder again, and Asuka, you'll be hearing from me again soon. And then that's all they had to do.
It was like, meh. You know, I didn't like it.
And then now, I think she's going by Kimberly Franklin, which is her real name, but that's Princess Kimberly.
Okay.
She was actually Chikara's grand champion, like not like the women's champion, their world heavyweight champion.
Oh shit! Well, Chikara's fucking weird.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose. I've only seen like one appearance from her. Of course, we mentioned Nikki Cross, Peyton Royce, Ruby Riott, and it was Daria Baronato, but I think she's going by like Sonya Deville now.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah, and plus, I think a lot of these girls like aren't going to really debut until they get to the women's tournament coming up.
Yeah, probably a good idea, which I'm really excited for, by the way.
I want to see that. I definitely want to see that. See some good.
Apparently, they're doing a UK tournament again, or they're going to add a UK show, like a weekly United Kingdom show, which the way that 205 did, I think is a really bad idea. It was a great idea that didn't pan out. I think the idea of having more wrestling on the network is brilliant, but you've got to do it better than you've done the 205 Live. Speaking of 205 Live in the United Kingdom tournament, the match that Jack Gallagher and Tyler Bate had, I fucking adored. That match was awesome.
Yo, man, that was an amazing match. That was about a 15-minute main event.
Something like that, dude. It was fucking stellar. Hardcore catch can style.
Okay, I gotta ask you this. Were you like me? Were you waiting for like Pete Dunne to jump the barricade, go in the ring, and just clock Tyler Bate?
I have never seen anybody that looks so fucking angsty as Pete Dunne. He not angry, not ready. He just looks like he's in a perpetual teenage angst.
It's like he has permanent whiskey face.
Taking a vinegar stroke.
You know, and for those of you like, what the hell is permanent whiskey face? Whiskey face is like that little face you make when you take like a shot of whiskey too quick. You're just like, he just constantly looks like he's just taking an unending shot of whiskey at every point in his life.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're not wrong. It's I don't know. It's speaking of completely something that has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, you know what I'm ready for that comes back at the end of next month?
Lucha.
The Dario Cueto 1980s fan club.
Have we got that copy machine yet?
Yeah, no, I'm still waiting on it to come in. We got to get that old school copy paper that still has like the little things you have to tear off on the side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that, and then we'll start heading out that letter. But oh, dude, it just makes me so excited, and I haven't gone back and watched it. I'm probably before season, mid-season 3 comes back. I'm probably gonna power through all of seasons 1 and 2 again, because and I don't care who I offend with this and who disagrees with me. This is one of the few times I'll say that you are fucking wrong. Lucha Underground is the best fucking wrestling show on television. Period. And if I'm WWE, I want to try and steal some of those guys bad. More so than Ring of Honor, more so than TNA, more so than New Japan.
We may see them because Impact has signed a deal with AAA, so we could actually see actual Lucha Underground characters show up on Impact.
Yes, you are correct. Except my boy Pentagon Jr., Penta El Mar or something like this, Penta El Zero, is no longer with AAA. But goddamn, he's really good about posting a lot of his matches on YouTube. And he had this amazing match with Phoenix in Japan and a crazy awesome match with Cody Rhodes. Someone told me his match with Tommaso Ciampa several months back was great. He's probably my favorite wrestler. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Lucha Underground coming back. Can you imagine like King Cuerno in NXT? Mind you, Pentagon Jr. cannot work in NXT because 3/4 of his moveset is completely banned. But I would love to see some of those guys.
The package pile driver, you couldn't do that.
You can't do the package pile driver. You can't do a lot of those kicks to the head. Even though I will make another bold statement, I think Pentagon Jr. has the best chop in the business, which seems like a really simple statement to say. But dude, he is so good about selling it. It's loud and it sounds and looks like it hurts, but just the way he sells leading up to it and gets the crowd to calm. Oh god, dude, it's the best chop in the business.
You know, this may be the end of Lucha Underground.
Why do you say that?
Well, the whole reason they paused the series and that they're bringing it back is because they were zipping through season 3, and if they shoot season 4, it's not going to be till like January.
I mean, we had to wait quite a while between seasons 1 and 2. Remember, there was a big scare that we weren't going to get season 2. But I think Lucha Underground's popular enough, and especially having talked to Chris DeJoseph, I think it's a series that I think needs to end, but I think they got one more season in them.
How do you go out? Do you go out with like one season where everything goes out with a bang and you blow up the temple at the end?
Yeah, like
or do you go out with a movie
where you have the battle lines drawn? Because that was one of the themes that I kept picking up on the first part of season 3 was that they're kind of drawing the battle lines. Who's going to fight on what side? So I think one of the last stories they'll tell is what side is Pentagon Jr. going to be on? Is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy?
Or is he just a guy?
Or is he that guy? Or does he do what Pentagon Jr. wants to do? And I think that he kind of fights for the side of good, but for his own reasons. Mm-hmm. So you have Rey Mysterio, Pentagon Jr., Prince Puma on one side, and then you have the Forces of Darkness on the other side, and then that's how the show ends. You know, not necessarily that line drawn, but I think that's the way that it's going.
All right.
And plus, Dario fucking Cueto is the greatest manager in wrestling history.
Yes.
Or greatest bad guy. He's the greatest.
Great talker. Let's see here. Oh, what do you think about this Mauro Ranallo JBL WWE situation?
Yeah, something's weird. Something's not right there. Because like Mauro Ranallo came out and said like it had nothing to do with the JBL. But then there are other people that are like, no, it did have to do with JBL. I'm just pissed that he's gone either way because he was my favorite announcer on WWE. So I'm pretty upset about that. And he deals with depression a lot. So, I mean, I hate saying it. Some of it might have been that he, was getting some flack that he needed. And some of it might have been that he just couldn't handle it. Which, you've got to have thick skin in this business, regardless of what you do. It's a lot of us battle with depression. Lord knows I've battled with it in the past. I mean, but you have to be able to move forward. And if he didn't want to, and that's not where he wanted to be, kudos to you, man. Go where you need to be for yourself. And I'm not saying he said this, but you can't say you want to be somewhere and then complain about it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. No, it makes perfect sense. I think they just got to him. I think they came to some kind of settlement so that way you could get Ronaldo to stop talking potentially talking any smack about WWE. So they're like, I think they just threw some money at him. I think he took it. He can call other combat sports. He just can't call professional wrestling, at least until his contract is good until August.
Okay. So, he'll probably go do. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I guess he's going to go do some more MMA. But goddamn, was he not great at doing professional wrestling?
I would love to see him be part of the. Like if New Japan ever decided to expand into the United States, like full time.
Oh yeah, fucking Mauro Ranallo and Kevin Kelly. I'd be about that life. Mm-hmm. And again, I love New Japan. New Japan's a great product. It's hard to watch. It's good to watch, but it's hard to watch. Not because it's in another language. It's just hard to get a hold of. And they need to go ahead, and if they want to get in this American market, they need to make a full American website for me to be able to watch and go back and watch old stuff easily. Because then they're going to get my money every week. But right now, it's too hard to navigate. I don't want to have to fucking do work to watch my wrestling. I just want to be able to watch.
Yeah, they did, to their credit, they did set up njpw1972.com, which is essentially like the English language version of their website, but it's it's limited as far as content. Now they've got news on there, they've got their schedules, they got their social media.
And their content's hard to keep up with. It's a lot like Ring of Honor in that way. It's I don't it's hard to keep up with what's going on. What the new show is, because I know they don't do a weekly show, but honestly, they need somebody to come out and go, "This is how New Japan works." Yeah, I mean, you have the G1 and you have Wrestle Kingdom, Everything
Yeah,
in
it
between
would be
almost
nice.
feels like filler.
Yeah, they do like a lot of those. Like they've been doing like a lot of Road 2 shows where basically it's just nothing but like 20 on 20 tag matches.
And I could give a fuck about those.
But I will say, New Japan World's actually not that hard to navigate. Like you can switch over the
I had a lot of trouble with it.
you could have the site switched over and translated over into English.
Yeah, but the whole site doesn't translate over.
Mm-hmm.
Only parts.
Yeah, and then I actually go back and watch a few little things. Would you believe me if I told you that I went back and watched a couple of Hulk Hogan matches from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they were really, really good.
No, I would completely believe you. Have you ever seen that promo he cut where he has the WWE title and he's talking about how this is just a toy, that the real title is the New Japan title?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
It's pretty kick-ass, and I can't believe they let him get away with that.
I'm looking for the feud. I'm looking for the feud because I actually watched Hulk Hogan versus Inoki.
Fuck yeah.
And by the way, actual fact, he did not use the leg drop as his finisher in New Japan.
He did not use it?
Nope. I mean, he used the move, but that was not his finisher.
What was his finisher?
It was like a lariat.
Huh. Interesting. I'm all about that. I just think they need to make the product in general in Japan. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're just going to blaspheme it, make it more Western. It's going to lose what it is. That's not what I'm saying. They need to make the product more accessible. Let Western's audience, like, hey, we're different than what you're getting over there. Here's what makes it different. Here's why it's enjoyable. So that it just makes it easier it makes it more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want. I mean, because I watched Wrestle Kingdom 11 and it was fucking incredible and I loved it. No, not everything on it was incredible. There were some bad matches on that show. And I guess that's one like hipster mentality that I can't stand. Thank you, Dave Meltzer, that everything that comes out of Japan is gold. Like Japan can do no wrong. No, there is garbage over there. That tag match from Wrestle Kingdom was awful. All fucking old. The Gorillas of Destiny one, it was terrible. Which I guess was the heavyweight IWGP titles.
Yeah, that's the one where they cussed the entire time.
Oh yeah, that match was god awful.
Yeah, they need to work on the Gorillas of Destiny, particularly Tango Loa, because he had a singles match. I think it was against Yuji Nagata in the New Japan Cup. To say that match was unwatchable was an understatement.
Really? I don't know.
That was his first singles match in New Japan. I think his first singles match in quite some time, and you could tell why.
Who was this?
Tango Loa. This was Tamataga's brother.
Yeah, I did not realize that fucking King Haku is their dad.
That's like the best dad ever. But that's the one that that's the one where you need to make straight A's, because would you ever want to bring home a bad report card to
Hell no, he beat you to death with coconuts.
I think that's what he does in his spare time. He almost gouged out Jimmy Jack Funk's eyeball.
He has the moniker of toughest guy in professional wrestling for a reason.
I think he was the only man that Andre the Giant legitimately was afraid of.
That's awesome. Yeah, King Haku was, for you youngins out there, just go Google King Haku. I forget what his It
was Haku in WWF and Ming in WCW.
Okay. Yeah, go check him out. Great hand in the ring. Another Polynesian guy, but he was a dangerous man.
They actually had when he was in WCW, I think one of the stories goes is if Barrett Bischoff or anybody, or at least anybody in the higher ups, wanted somebody to break some bad news to somebody, they would have Haku do it because nobody would say shit to him.
That's fucking awesome. He was on Jericho's, and it's so funny because he was on Jericho's podcast recently, and he's just like the most chill, calm kind of dude, but he's a dangerous motherfucker. And good. He was really talented. So, he had another name that he got that wasn't Haku, but whatever, not important. I'm sure somebody in the comments is screaming at us
actually
right
Wrestling
now.
Rat, and he actually beat us to it. He says Haku, Ming, and King Tonga.
King Tonga, that was the one I was trying to think of that I couldn't quite get out. Yeah, but yeah, go do your homework, boys and girls. Go look that shit up. It's awesome. That is Sammy and Boom's weekly wrestling homework. Go watch a King Haku match. And while you're at it, let's go ahead and watch a fucking old school Rock and Roll Express match.
It's Ricky to Robert, and here's
Punky and Hoot, man. You be the Punky, I'll be the Hoot.
All right, I'll be Punky.
Hey, somebody's got to be. There's no shame in being Punky.
No problem.
I was listening to this old Bullet Club interview, which is going to segue directly to something I'll talk about with the Bullet Club. And they're talking to Anderson and Gallows, and he's like, "Oh, he's G1 Climax Final Hoot, and he's drinks way too many beers Hoot, and Finn Balor having to walk by, like, oh, and that slay pussy like it's his job Hoot." I fucking love that shit. So speaking of Bullet Club, here's something that I desperately, desperately want to see. I want to see more of the Bullet Club. Sure, there's visibility on the Bullet Club everywhere. There's tons of people in it, and we see them rocking the gear, and that's cool and all. But I want to see the Bullet Club as an entity. They don't have to all gang up together like NWO style, but I want to see them be a force to be reckoned with again. And we haven't got that in a long time.
Yeah, what are they doing with Kenny Omega right now? I thought they were going to rebuild him back up and have him go back and re-challenge Okada, but I think that their next pay-per-view, he's just wrestling Ishii.
Yeah, that's a problem with WWE, New Japan, for better or worse. I think a lot of people that want to refuse that New Japan can do wrong, like, oh, well, they just do like classic American wrestling. They pick one guy and they run with him, Like, yeah, you're correct. They do that. That doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. So, Okada's their guy, and they're going to run Okada until Okada can't fucking put gas in the tank anymore, for better or for worse. I want to see Omega getting back in the main spotlight. I would love to see.
What do you think about Okada's booking?
I like it. I don't like it.
I don't know, Chip, but I feel like he's approaching like John Cena levels of Superman booking.
I don't disagree with that. And honestly, that's for a lot of people, that's going to be a supremely unpopular opinion. But just because you're speaking ill of New Japan.
But somebody brought this up to me. It's like, you got to have Superman. You got to have Superman because the person who beats him, holy shit, he just fucking killed Superman.
Like, I get what they're going for. But I don't know. It's just hard to play that game for two reasons. A, modern audiences, it's a really hard to play that long game. And B, it's hard for me to feel like Superman when your manager and one of the members of your faction is the fucking booker.
And that's another question I was going to bring up. Do you think the reason why Okada is where he is because of nepotism?
I don't think there's a doubt in my mind to some extent, not maybe 100% of the reason, but I think people are foolish if they don't think that has at least something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a very talented wrestler.
Oh,
I would argue that he's had three of the best matches of 2017. I mean, his match with Okada, his match with Suzuki, and now his match with Shibata. I mean, absolutely amazing.
Is Shibata going to be able to make it back, or is he done? Because I've seen reports that he's done.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. And I know because I think everything's going to depend on what doctors say and if New Japan will clear him to wrestle.
He might be New Japan's Daniel Bryan.
Maybe. And here's another thing. How in the fuck did Okada walk away from that headbutt?
That's a good fucking question.
Because, I mean, Shibata headbutted Okada. You heard this loud thud. Everybody, Don Callis, everybody who was there, people who watched it said you could hear that. They said if you were there, you could hear that thud. And it was like something out of a movie. Like, he just stood there for a second. All of a sudden, a trickle of blood went straight down his face. And then he finishes the match. And I heard he passed out. I was like, oh, I thought that was just kayfabe. And they're like, no. This is fucking real, bro.
Yeah, like he passed out. I believe they said he had some fancy medical term for that. He has blood on his brain.
Subdural hematoma.
There you go. It's likely that it is unlikely he will come back, and that's really depressing because I think Shibata was fucking fantastic.
And that's another fault that I find with New Japan is like I can understand working, stiff, and I can understand things, but doing some of the shit that they do is unnecessary. I mean, that's 2 spots that Okada has allowed to be done on him that I feel like is unnecessary. The first one was the Dragon Suplex from the top rope that he took from Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the headbutt that he took from Shibata.
When is stiff too stiff?
You know, and here's the thing. If you take those spots out, does it ruin the match? Does it not become a good match at that point? No.
No. No, I mean, I agree. You're
but you
stop
know,
working there for a second. Yeah, I don't think it ruins the match. But when there comes a point in time that as educated fans, me and LK have talked about this, that you start being entertained and you are worried for the wrestlers.
Yeah,
which is why I don't like death matches.
Yeah, that's something that I talked about here in the past. Is back when I was doing drama in high school, we went through I went through like a little workshop at a fest, and we talked about stage combat. Just how to throw like a punch, a slap, or just little bitty things that you could do on stage. And I said, well, don't you want, and I tried to, and of course I'm a huge wrestling fan. I'm like, well, do you want me to stomp my foot, or should I just pull my punches? And they're like, no. You're not getting the point of stage combat. The whole point is you want to be concerned for the character, not the person playing him.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where we are with that is, okay, now we stop being concerned about, Okada and Shibata, the characters, and we now become concerned for Okada and Shibata, the people. Is, holy shit, is Okada going to have neck fusion surgery? Is Shibata ever going to wrestle again? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And I think it's a fine line because especially there's kind of been a resurgence of strong style, not just in Japan, but all over the world. And I think people have realized that strong style is really the way to go because it gives you a more realistic look. But again, when is strong style too much? It's an answer. It's a question I don't have an answer to.
And by the way, Wrestling Rant brings up a good point. He said Tanahashi was essentially the man for a decade in New Japan, and now Okada, by comparison, he's just getting warmed up.
Well, I don't disagree, but God, people got bored of Tanahashi. And especially this day where there's more and more and more Western audiences for New Japan, and they're wanting to break through into New Japan, and we Western audiences don't want to see. I know people are going to bring up Hulk Hogan, but that was a long time ago now. People don't want to see the same champion for fucking 10 years. They want to see other people be the main, and not necessarily the champion, but they want to see other people be the guy. They want to see other people be a top guy. That doesn't mean Okada can't be the top guy again, but you have to have other people be in the spotlight. When everyone talk about is the best era of professional wrestling in America in human history, the Attitude Era. Think of how many different people they had that were the top guy in that span. There were people that had it for longer periods of times than others, but you had Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. And that's just the ones I can think of right off the top of my head. And those people, for at least a time during the Attitude Era, were the guys. Tanahashi being the only guy for 10 years, I think is a problem. That's just my thought.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I've got absolutely no problem with it. Some people are saying that maybe they're just waiting until the U.S. shows in Los Angeles before they pull the trigger on Omega.
Which is a possibility, having him in America, even though he's Canadian. Am I right?
Yeah, he is Canadian.
Even having him win in the States.
But don't worry, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I know. We can't all be great. And truth be told, I didn't think anything of Okada or anything of Omega until that Okada match. I'd seen some of his stuff and it was okay, but all the Omega that I'd ever seen was the goofy, silly shit, and I hated it. It was terrible. I'm the cleaner, so I'm gonna sweep this. That was fucking stupid. But that match made me a believer. That match, and everyone knows what I mean by that match. I don't think it was the greatest wrestling match I've ever seen. I don't think it was the best match on that show, but it was damn good.
When it comes to people who criticize that match, it wasn't that great.
No, it was great.
I think you missed out, and I'm not saying you personally, Sammy. I think you missed out if you did not watch it live. I got up at 30 hours here in the States, had my subscription to New Japan World, turned that bad boy on, and watched that entire show live. And watching Omega and Okada live as it was happening, I was completely on the edge of my seat because I wasn't looking at a countdown clock. Okay, well, it's got 15 minutes left now. I wonder what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And I did not know who was going to win. There was no buzz, nothing around it outside of the stuff leading up into the show.
Yeah.
And I watched everything unfold in real time. I really feel like if you didn't do that, you missed out. Because
yeah. And I can totally see what you're saying, and I could probably agree with you had I watched it live. I did not watch it live, and the match was outstanding. And the match was a one-of-a-kind, ace in the hole, one of the best matches of last year, and anyone that doesn't think that, quite bluntly, I think is wrong. But I don't think it was the greatest wrestling match that's ever been on a squared circle. I think there's matches I've enjoyed a lot more. But it was such a damn good match. And here's an idea I had about Wrestle Kingdom and WrestleMania, for that matter. I actually picked this up from a different podcast, and I thought about it and talked about it with some. One of the problems that people had with Wrestle Kingdom, and a problem that a lot of people had with WrestleMania, is that it's just too goddamn long. It's too fucking long. And so the theory is, and this has worked for smaller promotions when they put on their big shows, why not have it be a 2-night event? Why not have a Saturday night and a Sunday night WrestleMania and a Saturday night and a Sunday night New Japan? And if New Japan wanted to break into the American market super hard, they could have one night in Japan, one night in America.
it might make sense for almost WWE to do that because you could get twice the revenue because you sell out the Citrus Bowl twice.
Exactly. And you could do it. You could sell it out twice and give people deals that if they buy both nights, they get like some extreme discount. But think about how much that would break up. Imagine if WrestleMania ended, or night one ended with Jericho Owens, which I think was a fantastic match. And then the next night ended with, Taker Reigns. I am fully in support of this idea.
Yeah, because Mania, man, was
What
Mania was like 7 hours long. I mean, it's like New Japan was like, dude, seriously, bro, you need to back off on this just a little bit. Can you just put in a 6-man tag?
I mean, even me, man, sitting through Mania and sitting through, because fucking Wrestle Kingdom was nearly as long. I think it was only like 30 minutes shorter.
No,
maybe an hour.
Wrestle Kingdom, like from pillar to post was like 5 hours, but that was like the pre-show with the New Japan Rumble. They took a little bit of a break. They did the main show. I don't think they took an intermission. Usually New Japan shows take intermission, and then they have like a post pay-per-view where they do like a press conference where they bring in people, and it's like something like, it's like the press conference after the NBA Finals, after the World Series, after the Super Bowl. I mean, they sit somebody down, they have the press ask him questions. That's included on there.
Yeah. Understandable. It's like, I think it would be a good idea. And again, I think Omega is the guy that they're going to lead to be their American audience dude, which is smart because I think Omega's great. Again, I didn't think anything of him, and I was late to New Japan. I just picked it up here and there. I would watch, Access and do their New Japan when I could, but they're so far behind.
Is it just me,
or it was Ring of Honor, and it was just that goofy Okada or Omega, and I just did not like it. And I finally got to sit down and watch that match. And mind you, I haven't seen some of his G1 matches. I haven't seen some of these other matches people are talking about. I've had a lot of people tell me he had a ladder match with somebody, maybe Elgin, that's supposed to be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I just haven't got around to watching that, but that's how good that match was. It made me a believer out of that guy.
Do you want to see Bullet Club and LIJ go to war?
LIJ?
Yeah, Los Ingobernables de Japan.
Oh, who doesn't want to fucking see a Los Ingobernables and Bullet Club war?
I'd love to see that.
Because this guy wants to see that. I'd be down.
Now here's a good question. This is from King DW2100. Why should New Japan invest too much in Omega when he's just going to go to the WWE? I don't know why he would be WWE bound. Remember, he was there. He was in developmental. He was one of the guys that got ran out by Bill DeMott.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go to WWE anytime soon. I think New Japan, when that last batch of people left,
and he had his chance. He
learned
had his
a lesson.
chance. I mean, he had his chance to go to WWE. He could be there right now if he wanted to.
And I think they learned their lesson when those people left, and I think they realize what he means to the company and getting into the Western market and how popular he is just everywhere. So they're going to give him whatever he wants to keep him around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and here's another question. When is Chaos going to finally get together and just kick the shit out of Suzuki-gun?
You're breaking up on me real bad.
I said, when is Chaos going to finally get together and just beat the shit out of Suzuki-gun?
Fucking who knows?
Because, I mean, to me, that's another gripe I have about New Japan right now, is that, like, Suzuki-gun, they make a big statement when they come back the night after Wrestle Kingdom. In fact, they had a great match, but with the exception of the junior tag team titles, Suzuki-gun has lost every fucking major match and feud that they have had.
Yeah.
And here's another fucked up thing. You know, when Suzuki-gun's out there, you're not just fighting one. They're going to bring one or two guys with them. And they're always going to interfere. And I'm like, if you're just like, you know, like somebody like Tanahashi or, you know, Juice Robinson, you know, somebody who's unaffiliated, you get beat up, okay, that makes sense. But if you're part of Chaos, isn't the whole point in being in a faction, you know, like strength in numbers, you know, hey, we're all going to get together so we can dominate?
And there's like people get on a Bullet Club for having a deep roster. There's like 400,000 people in fucking Chaos. There's just tons of them. Oh, I think you broke up on me.
Well, wrestling says Suzuki won the Never title. When the fuck did he win that? Did I miss that fucking pay? No, I didn't miss that pay-per-view, did I?
Hell, I know I'm behind.
I shouldn't have missed that pay-per-view. I mean, I know it was coming up this weekend. Let me look. New Japan World. Let's go into, this delay brought to you by KocoSports.com. KocoSports.com.
I'll look through the comments real quick. I've seen a couple of people saying, like, that they like people that are transitioned from comedy wrestling to serious wrestling. Well, I just said I was an Omega fan. I did not like him as the goofy wrestler because I'm not a fan of that kind of wrestling. But where he's at now, I'm a huge fan of the guy. I think he's probably one of the top workers. And, a couple other people said so. I mean, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing. I do agree with you. I just wasn't a fan of him when he was doing the goofy. And now that he's where he's at now, and I've got to see more of his non-goofy stuff, I've really appreciated him more. And I think he's fucking phenomenal. Okay, let me keep going through the live chat. I'm sorry. Again, this spoiler brought to you. I'm not going to be on here much longer, guys. I got to go to work tomorrow. But it has been a supreme amount of fun. I've had a great time jumping on here and talking with you bad boys. Just fucking talking the entire world of professional wrestling. Because at the end of the day, we can get on here and we can bitch about everything. And that's what, unfortunately, I think a lot of your wrestling podcasts are. They're getting on there and they're complaining. They're complaining. This is how it should be. This is how it should be. Well, we don't get to make a decision of how it should be. Because at the end of the day, I am a wrestling fan. I am a fan of professional wrestling. And so I want to promote the product. You're not going to promote the product, make it any better, and get new people to watch it if all you do is shit on it. Does that mean I won't call them out? I'll absolutely call them out. Again, I went on a rant about how I think Roderick Strong has just been dropped in NXT.
Okay. I just.
But it is something we all.
Yeah, it happened.
I want to make that clear.
Yeah, it happened Thursday. Well, Thursday in Japan. Yeah, it was like it was like the main event. It was like one of those Road 2 shows.
Okay.
Okay, that was.
So he did. He is a goofy looking bastard, by the way.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that to his fucking face.
Shit, I'll tell him. He won't understand me. He racked much of discipline. All right, guys. Anything else we haven't talked about?
Let's see. Crazy Steve, he could be going to WWE. Nikki Bella, Brie Bella is expected to give birth any day now. Just looking up any other random stuff.
Yeah, because I forgot he just split ways with TNA. With all of you that have been keeping up with TNA and how it's going since this new shakeup thing, because I haven't been able to watch, how has TNA TV been? Because I haven't on to watch. So let us know. Kind of throw it down in the comments. Let me know how it's going. Wrestling Rancid said he would kill me, Sammy. It's worth it. Fuck him. Fuck that goofy looking fuck. You goofy looking bastard. Looking like an Asian peanut, fucking like a Snoopy peanut had sex with Alfalfa in a fucking geisha house, and out popped this fucking weird ass cocksucker. Fuck you, Suzuki Gun. I'll take it to your goddamn face. I don't give a shit. No, I think the guy's super talented, but anyone that anyone that looks at him and doesn't go, well, that's a mighty odd looking fellow. Were he not so strange, then you're probably wrong, because he's goofy looking fuck. Okay, so Wrestling Rancid said Impact, TNA is dead. Oh, fucking come on, Ranton. Come on, man, give me a break. It's fucking, come on. You can't beat me like that. I understand it's Impact, but we fucking called it TNA for God knows how long. It's going to take a little bit. It's like, when they decided to drop the numbers for WrestleMania, thinking they're just going to call them like WrestleMania this, WrestleMania. Motherfucking, it's still WrestleMania 33 at the end of the day. Okay, so he says TNA or Impact has been somewhat better. That's good. So I'm going to try and watch it again. Unfortunately, because my new apartment that I have, I don't have my same cable. So I cannot watch it on Pop, so I'm going to have to find somewhere else to watch it. And me and Andy Paps were actually talking a while back, and I was going to watch it with him, but I haven't had a way to with it. So hopefully we can get back on watching that. And as soon as things start coming down with this job, because most of you know I moved to open up a new store, I'll be able to watch more and more professional wrestling. Right now I can really only watch Monday and Tuesdays. Andy Pap says on a scale from 1 to 10, it's about a 6.5, which isn't bad. Heavy J says Sammy's going to die. Worth it. Fucking worth it. Wrestling Rand says he calls it Global Force Wrestling, Impact Wrestling. It's probably right. That's another thing. If Cody Rhodes signs an ROH deal, he is the Global Force, or he at least was the Global Force Pro Wrestling champion, or some former champion they have. Wrestling Ranton also says, dude, one day we should all do a live feed watching a show. That would be fucking sweet. Just watch a show and all talk about it as it's going on. That would be fucking sweet. I would be all about that live. Cool. Did you find what you're looking for, Booms, or are you just sitting here watching me sweat at some fucking
I've already found what I'm looking for, and I've already spoken about it, and now I guess we're wrapping up.
Speak about it again, damn it. I didn't hear it. Suzuki Gun won. He's a goofy looking bastard. Fucking I win. Internet for Sammy. Goofy. But again, I like New Japan. New Japan's really fun to watch. We want to get on the WWE because they do. But we want to get on the WWE for having too many titles. New Japan, too many titles. I understand it makes more sense over there because of how they split things up. But I do not understand that Neverweight Open Wimbledon GP Capcom Omega Awesome 2 belt that they've got. I don't understand the point of that fucking belt other than just to have another belt. Personally.
Well, that's a different story for a different day. And you know what? We're just going to leave it there. In the meantime, I'm going to tell everybody, check us out, KocoSports.com, KOCOSports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most important, K to be a passionate fan. Also, be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Coming up in a few hours, Dave and myself are going to get together and do a little something, because I'm going to wake up and he's just going to be getting ready to go to bed, so we're going to do something there. So be sure to check it out. You may not be able to catch us live because it's going to be like super fucking early for me. So this is Booms, and for Sammy saying the boom just went bang, and I am out. Bang.
Good job for clowns.